Here we are. Here we are. The start. Beautiful, beautiful city we have. What is this guy's name? Ovidios. There. Just came back with this boat. Thought it was Hytol first, but it was Ovidios. And look at that. He swam and he washed himself clean after some day of work. This guy needs to get on that same page, Dargas. You need to get on that same page. Welcome back, though. Here we are in our Amevian city. I am the Fiend, and this is Songs of Syx, if you're unaware. If you've never watched this game before, welcome, welcome. I'm almost to 1,000 subs, so I'm going to remind people to subscribe. I'm almost there. I'm so excited to hit that number, so I'm gonna kind of advertise a little bit. It helps me out immensely. It doesn't cost you a cent. That's one of my favorite quotes I've heard someone say. They always say, "Oh, it doesn't cost you a dang thing." And it's true, honestly. It helps me out immensely. If there's a couple hundred people watching this and I hit 1,000, I'll start to actually get that ad revenue instead of the fucking companies that put ads over my videos, which is insane because I heard that there are video ads. I don't see them because I obviously run the page, so I don't get an ad for my own video. But I have heard that there are ads, and it sucks because I wish there wasn't. If I was below 1,000, and I'm not getting monetized, you don't get fucking ads. You shouldn't, at least. Regardless, look at these little guys, these little Amevia children playing around. So cute, so cute. You can see they're a little slower than the grown adult Amevian here. And this Amevian is harassing this guy here. It's interesting because, from my understanding, children actually kind of interrupt the flow of your city. They will tackle and harass your workers. They kind of get in the way of stuff. So this janitor is trying to get to work, and he's trying to do stuff. And this little Amevian child is beating him up and pushing him around. And he's like, "Hey, you want to join the snakes? You want to join the snakes club?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to do my job, kid, please." And he gets jumped. It's a fucked up world that they live in here. Someone also in my Discord brought up a really great point. I call him Chew in my head, Chupacabra, but his name is Chupacabra in my Discord. He brought up a great point, and I actually like it the most. They're gonna be like Egyptian-themed lizard people. I'm gonna play this game like they're Egyptians, or like they're kind of in that area, as they kind of live on something like a Nile. This, just imagine, was the part of the ocean, or the lake, and this is the ocean here. They're really close. If there was something connecting them, it's about the exact same thing. This will be the fertile valley, where all of the food and livestock and pastures and everything are going to be. We don't really need pastures, per se. Or, yeah, Globian pastures, but farms. I mean, we don't really need farms. Especially when we capture our first world region, which I plan to do as soon as I possibly can. There's this guy over here, Corriger. He's got... how many people? 69. Nice. Novaster here in between us is a little scary because this pink army actually comes from up here. That's not Novaster, the guy that we started next to. That is a Woodrick. There's two Woodricks. Or, no, I think that's Woodrick there, and then I thought I saw another Woodrick. But Corringer is the only property over here not owned by somebody. It appears like everyone else in this region has sent armies to capture every other region, and that sucks. Or we could get Inkalvici. We would have to go by Konica. It might take a while, actually. We might be unfortunately trapped within our own area here. And I don't believe there are any... Now, this is something that I struggle to understand. If you choose Amevians, I think that just starts the case that there's not many other Amevian races that exist in this game. So there's simply not a lot of Amevians in general. This may be one of my most challenging series to date because of that, but production shouldn't be hindered by the fact that they can't be created like Dundarians. Dundarians, you can't make them. They have to be imported, immigrants. Amevians you can make. You saw we had some children. So, at 12 at a time, and we have like 10 of these, that's 120. We will be getting a lot of Amevians pretty quickly. Kind of the same way we were getting Garthimes pretty quickly. We'll probably need about space for 400 total babies to be born. And that's just my short guess. And I'm gonna have them kind of... I think that this will be like the hatchery zone. We'll have like spaces for hatcheries with things like wells around them and hearths, because from my understanding, rather than use the well directly outside of their house, that's why they're often dirty. They don't go straight from bed to here. They go straight from here to there, or wherever. So he's the speaker. And somebody else made a really good point that what's happening here is this Revelus Matchta, he's the Amevian speaker, he's on break. So the service for this is 0. Nobody is watching him because he is taking a break. He is the only speaker in this area. So having one singular speaker often results in that problem. It's better to have a secondary speaker on the other side or somewhere nearby. You can put them anywhere. You can literally put them next to each other. It's up to you. The aesthetic of the game is whatever you'd like. But you have to note at a certain point, you see, he left, and somebody had followed in the Discord, not my Discord, but the actual Songs of Syx Discord, what a person does throughout the day. This guy, or whoever, they followed them, and they figured out that every single day, they will go from their house to their job site. They will spend a specific amount of time, their work time, at this job site. Then they will get services. Then they have, like, free time. And then they go to sleep, or they go relax. They don't sleep. They will sit in their house like this. They don't do anything. So you can see this fisherman is relaxing. This fisherman is relaxing. But of course, it says we have 22. In reality, there's 20, probably 18 or so, because there's fishermen walking around here. He's listening to news now. He's getting his little services in. So instead of going from here to right here, where he could have had the services, obviously he can't because it's right there. But for example, this is how far he has to walk. He walks over here, says hi to the speaker, and he sits there for about a couple hours or an hour. Then he'll move on to the food stall or something else. He won't do all of his services. He won't hit the well up and the hearth at the same time. That's just how they work. I'm not quite sure if there's chance that that will be changed, or if there's a way that we could change that. Personally, I don't believe that you can change what they're doing on the hourly basis. They are free-willed beings. Okay, this is still on too. I just want to make sure my super screenshots are on. Alright, thank you for anyone who enjoyed that little super screenshot montage in the last episode. It took quite some work, and they didn't come out with the quality I wanted them to, but I decided to throw it in there anyways because I was talking about it. I did not learn that technique from myself. There are other users who have used it, and also Jake. Jake has used that in the past. Look at this guy. The delivery man. He's going to go walk all the way across the entire town. 5 fish. I never noticed that. So he's carrying only 5 fish. That is horribly inefficient. Why carry the fish from across the city when there's fish being gathered right next door? Some fish right here, 1 fish. Alright. Fucking interruptions, man. I'll cut that shit out, but It's really annoying. Regardless, now that I've been spending time with these people on a one-to-one basis and kind of learning how they work and how they live, kind of figured out how they operate, what they're looking for, how they're looking for it, and I'm trying to appease that a little more. You can see I have this hearth over here. In reality, the hearth should be over here somewhere, next to all the Globian pastures. Also, I did want to address another question somebody has had, and it's always been pressing on my mind. The amount of people in your city. I hate always starting my sentence with and I'm sorry about that. I know people get bothered by that. Regardless, the amount of people in your city is not always representative of how powerful you are. So, for example, they were questioning how come I never go to the 10,000, 100,000, or however many people I possibly can get. Why is this dropping? The reason for that is because most of the time, you don't need that many people. If you think of your average RTS or any kind of city building game, you don't need 10,000 guys unless they're soldiers. And in which case, if I'm making the soldiers, I'll be sending them out to the world map anyways. I don't know why that's there. So that will be the case for this series as well. I don't know how many Amevians I will actually need, but my goal has never been to hit 10,000 people, only because as good as the game is at optimizing characters on a battlefield, it is less powerful at optimizing them inside the city. Even people with good computers say that once they hit like 8 or 9,000, 10,000 people, they start to have some stutters. They can't watch the game in 3 times speed or 25 times, sorry, or 250 times speed, that's for sure. They have to sit here in 3 times speed or 1 time speed and watch the city unfold in real time. Because the characters simply take up so much at that point. Right now, 100 of them is not doing anything to me. I could look at these 100 guys at 250 times speed and it won't do anything. It will play perfectly. But that's not the issue there. It's the issue when I get 4,000 guys conglomerated in this little square here, and they're all fishermen, and I can see them all living and doing their thing. When it's like this, when you're zoomed in and you can see them all, that's when I think there's a problem. If I can spread them out throughout the whole map on this, that might be the best case scenario. So my goal will be kind of building a lot of farms and fisheries along the water, and then we'll have little pumps going up, or might have just pumps from one spot, I don't know. And they will go and they will spread nice fertility throughout the area, and we'll have pastures, Globian pastures. What the heck? That was weird. So, Songs of Syx just crashed on me, and that has never, ever, 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 ever happened. Ever in my entire time playing on a regular build have I crashed. I must have did something. I must have angered Jake. Alright, that was pretty weird. We got a double crash. I think that autosave or something in that save got corrupted or something. I have no clue. I sent the information to the dev, to Jake, and hopefully he will solve whatever the problem is if he can figure it out himself. He's smart like that. He knows how to do those things. I do not. Regardless, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to try to keep you guys updated on what I'm doing and kind of give you guys those little clips in between as to what occurs. But as it stands, all I need to keep doing is producing more Amevian hatcheries, expanding my fishery, etc., etc. So this is just going to be a lot of slow, boring stuff while I make more and more fishies. Or more people, more fishies, more people, more fishies. It's going to be a rinse and repeat cycle over here. And I'm going to also push this over one. We'll put a hauler right there. Alright, that looks good. I just need some stone. Hopefully these guys will go grab that. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright, so we've got a pretty decent setup for our downtown, our throne capital room area. Little janitors, warehouse, dungeon, warehouse for the arms and armor that I plan to make, and our guys still training. We've upped our conscripts to 30. I've also got a hunter on the way so that we can get leather armor being produced right here. We'll just have a tailor making leather armor right here. And I've also got the second hatchery up. Nice little warehouse and janitor over here to keep it nice and clean. We have 2 speakers, some trees, and I need to put some housing in here properly. So I will put some houses, I think. I like to be sporadic with these house placements. So I think I'd like to put it right here. Put like 3 of them there. Put some fencing in here so that it looks nicer and it kind of keeps people going where they need to go. I'll probably fence this off here as well so that they go straight down. They should be following these roads. They shouldn't be deviating from the roads. For the same reason, we'll do that right there. But yeah, it's looking good. I've got a clay pit on the works. The only thing holding me back right now is my carpentry. I need more people for fishery. I moved the Globdian pastures, 2 of them over here. They're the same amount of guys, basically, and the same amount of animals, just 1 less than it was in here. So this will give me access to tons of space. I also have a stage, a fight pit being created. Lots of good stuff, lots of good stuff. Yes, yes. Look at the fishy boys. They're fishing away, fishing away. Here we are, though. I didn't really find a good point to show you guys what was going on because most of the time I've been struggling. It's pretty hard. I think that the Amevians may have had a debuff along the way, or the first time I played them, I must have just got really lucky because they are not very happy half the time. Most of the time, it's because of the immigrant status or the environment status. The fish keep dropping down, but we're getting there. We're almost at a point of fish that they're happy. We have a decent amount of soldiers. We're trained up 50 here, and then we're training 20 here. They're gonna try to keep that training going all year round. I'm gonna try to keep these guys like actually equipped with real soldiers. We've got a chamber. I don't know if he's in here or not. I don't see him, but I'm gonna find the noble. Here he is. I'm gonna rename him Chewbacca. I think I may have spelled it wrong, but that's Chewbacca, the guy who came up with the great idea to make these guys kind of Egyptian themed, and I really like it. I think that my city is very like kind of how an organic Egyptian off the river look would be. That's just how I picture it. I don't know how they really look, but I like these little side roads with houses. I tried to put a lot of housing. We have our Globdian pastures, which I had went over. Our original warehouses. And this space right here is free for anything I want in the future. We have a fair amount of money. We've been selling things like meat, livestock. We've been selling excess furniture if we get there, and cut stone, which we have not gotten there. We're making war hammers and leather armor. We have our basic production zone here. The carpenter, the masonry, and this tailor is coming up so that he can produce clothes. We have fight pits. We have a stage as well. Second laboratory when I need it. I don't have as many people working in here as they could be. I'm just trying to get the population situation fixed. We have a hunter with 12 hunters. I believe 12 is the max amount of hunters allocated before it starts to drop resource gains. You could technically put another one and you'll just get diminishing returns. You see we're getting 12 plus 12 a day. Roughly 423. Not a ton, but if you look, the recipe only requires for 2 to make 0.5, so if we're making 12 a day, we're making roughly 6 leather armors per day off of that. That is pretty good. We only need 40 to equip our guys, and we only need a few others to actually get the law. We don't even have options for guard posts yet because we are not a legate. We have another training ground being produced. This training ground is full. We have our janitor warehouse, a small warehouse. So this is the arms warehouse in case when we get attacked, and actually should make a hole so that if there is a attack that occurs, we can just quickly come in here, grab all the gear, and be ready to battle right there and then. That's how I see it. Although a lot of the gear is actually being stored over here, I actually should have them hauling it directly over here. This is his only job, is to fetch this stuff, so shouldn't take him too long. We also got stone roads, if you notice. We have a new Amevian hatchery on the way, as well as 6 new houses. This little janitor and warehouse, and a little plaza area with some fishies at the end, so keep these Amevian babies happy. I don't think I'll put more fishes. I don't want to like kind of mess up this area, so I'll probably do that right there. Have 3 Amevian hatcheries in one area, so that's 36 Amevians. And I'll keep it like that for now. I might put another one on this side. Getting into this part, we have the chamber, as mentioned, Chubacera. We have 5 longhouses. We added 2 more, and I kind of decorated in front of his house. We need some more iron for that, though. We have 4 more houses over here in this massive fishery, which has space for about 55 guys or so. We also have a clay pit here. I put a couple guys on the clay pit duty so that we could get some clay in order to upgrade these. I have not gotten any technology close to that, so I put technology towards things that are the most valuable for me. Entertainment, arena, warhammers, leather armor, masonry, as well as the plumbing for canals, because that is very important in my opinion. We are almost to the other half of the city with this right here, this canal, and if I look, that should allow for their sweet water access to go up. It was at almost 14%. Now it's at 41% because the sweet water is actually getting up into that part of town. We're going to have a lot of Kryptonians living and dying and breathing over here, and they're going to be pumping water. There's just going to be tons of water being pumped, and I might extend this out a little bit. You can also see we have this nice bridge. This is the start of what I'd like to call the island sanctuary. I think I'll make it like a smithy island. Ooh, I almost coughed there. There's a lot of different like areas here that I could take advantage of, like this right here. I could turn that into another island home. Same with this. Probably put like a weird little hermit over here. He'll be like a fisher hermit. But all of this space is great for fishing, or not so much on this side. I think this side is better for actually farming. The northern coast is going to be where we put a lot of our fishing, because it's much, much better. And we have these 2 islands here. We'll call this Britain. We have to connect our island to Britain. I also didn't mention that this map here is a unique generation of the map. As you can see, it has got a giant ocean in the middle here. I think that we're separated by this ocean, and it'll take a long voyage to get across. So we will likely never ever see any of these freaks up here, ever. We're just stuck down here, and we're gonna have to deal with our neighbors And to be honest, they're getting pretty scary. But I think that Novaster, if Novaster stays at around 1,000 soldiers, I could beat them. I can beat that army. If they start to jump up to 3 to 4, 5,000 soldiers, I might struggle. I might struggle a lot. Right, as it stands, we have only 46 guys, and most of whom are not very well trained, and they all are basically unequipped. They have weapons, but they have no armor. I'd like to get this switched out for piercing weapons, as they have a natural boost towards pierce, and it says this causes lots of pierce damage. This causes lots of slash damage. We don't really need slashing as much as I'd like pierce, and I'll give them shields. I think that shields would be a really useful one, and what I'll do is I'll switch this up for that once that tailor guy is not needed anymore, once we're making our own iron, and I can switch up to iron plate. They'll be wearing iron plate, they'll be carrying swords and shields and bows, lots of bows. The guys who are wearing leather armor will be bowmen, and by that point we'll have hopefully beaten up some neighbors and taken over their shit. That way we can actually use their leather armor instead of crafting our own, because at a certain point leather armor is going to be really hard to come by, and leather itself is going to be really hard to come by. So that's why I'm trying to create a giant supply of it, like warehouse supply of it, so that when the tailor here comes along, he doesn't eat it all up before I get a weaver. I have to get the weavery going. Once that's going, it should be all set, because we'll just have cotton farms throughout the south here, all along this little peninsula. And the Kryptonian bastards, these cotton farmers, are going to be out there gathering us, cutting up. So we have 5 of them now. You can see they, Kiera, Ilaria, Claire, and Alexos. I think one of them, funnily enough, isn't working at that. He probably has a job that I don't agree with. Let's go check what the 4th guy's doing. What are you doing? Working at a clay pit. As much as I like that, I'm actually okay with that. I want you guys to be water pump workers. So he'll be living over here in his house, and he'll go work at the water pump. We need to upgrade this water pump so that there's less than 6 workers. Somebody had asked in the comments, what does the upgrade do? It simply allows for there to be a more efficient... Ooh, that's interesting. That's a different design. I wonder if... There's 2 models. That's cool. There might be more than 2. They simply allow for the machine to operate longer without people, I believe, as well. So you can see that they're not working here currently. It only needs 4 people to work. But I believe that they don't need to be here as often pumping. So this guy is a pumper. Yep, he's a pumper. So instead of pumping right now, because this is full with pressure, he's spending his time cutting wood. And that's true for a lot of other jobs. So I think a lot of people question why jobs aren't full, like with their workload. If you have fishermen, they will often stay here. I think you can set the priority. I always forget if 1 is highest priority. I think 1 is highest priority. So we'll have them at like 3 priority. They'll stay here. They won't do odd jobs, from my understanding. But other guys who are at like 10 priority, if they have nothing to do or their work site is slow, they'll go actually do other jobs. I think that's to alleviate the fact that sometimes you'll have 0 free laborers, odd jobbers, and you need other jobs to get done, like this here. So there are people who are actually doing that, but very, very, very slowly. Let's see, we've got recruits all about. I'm happy with this series so far, though. I've had so much fun kind of like wrapping my brain around the production of everything, because I could have easily focused on trying to get money, gone in here, purchase some fucking recruits like this. Look at these guys, 7k and 3k. That's 79, 85. I could have went and then took it over a neighbor, but I didn't. I'd rather not. I'd rather do it the hard way. Sorry, I had to cut that because try not to yawn my videos. I played this game for about 4 hours sometimes, and I think today I played for about 3. Mostly just kind of on slow mode, watching and figuring out where people are going. I think actually probably 2. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Not 3 hours, but it feels like 3 hours. Alright, guys. Irregardless, I hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. This has been one of the best series I've started yet. Honestly, the initial response I get is always astounding, and I'm really excited because these guys are personally my favorite race. I saw that Ocean Man made a tier list for races. I didn't finish his tier list because I started making my video. I can't watch a video in the background while I'm making a video, but I'm pretty sure he probably put the Amevians at middle tier, and in my opinion, these are the best race in the entire game, point blank period. I don't think there's another race that's better than them. I think that there's races that compare to them. I think that Dondarians, when it comes to being good at battle and production, of course they're as good, but I think that a lot of people, when they see occupation and they go in here and work priorities and they see that somebody's skill might not be at the same level as another's, like stone mining for example, the fulfillment, their skill is different. You can see that the Dondarians are simply a little bit better at mining than the actual other races. They're not that much better. The same goes for charcoaling. They're considerably better than most races. They're like 10% more on most of that stuff. You can see smelting, etc. But if you look, the Amevians are at 50%. Their skill is at base. They're base level. Everyone is at base level for the most part. Masons, they have base skills. Not the best. They're by far not the best, but they're definitely useful in their own regard. So don't ever knock these guys. People will knock them very often. You can say he's even got like a little bit more skill than certain races like Garthimes and Cretonians. They struggle at this, but the Amevians aren't too bad. They're not too shabby at pretty much everything. Across the board, they're really good at everything. The only thing that I find that they start to struggle with is their immigrant status. They don't like immigrants, and they don't repopulate very quickly. So you see we have 291. Most of them are children. 16 of them are children, and we have probably a few of them who are babies as well. I think the babies don't count as part of the population. Yeah, we have 5 babies there, and we have 3 babies there, but we have 0 days until the next child. 0 days or 1 day until the next child for this. So these guys are matched up perfectly timed. Feels good though. Feels good to have your own noble population being born. Get this immigrant status out of here and have them all as natives. And I think that they're on average they live to be 39 years. That's pretty decent. The oldest, let's see who the oldest is in my city. These are the youngest, the 3-year-olds. 84 years old, Derek the Varrock. He's a reliable Amevian plebeian doing everything possible to serve you as best as a fisherman. He is the ancient Amevian fisherman, basically. He can hear the voices of the gods and is renowned for seeing into the future. Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, Derek de Varrock, you are a favorite of mine because God has chosen you. You can hear God speak to you in your head. Beautiful, beautiful. Regardless, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Well, be sure to subscribe.